Preparation for all this, the Prime Minister's been out and about flying around the country in the lead up to that by-election. He mightn't have the expected reception he got in Hobart on Wednesday when protesters gatecrashed his press conference at a salmon processing facility. Joining me now is Shadow Environment Minister Jonathon Duniam, of course, a member of the Apple Isle as well. So this was well and truly, I'm sure, on your radar. What do you make of what's happening now, this debate right now? Because there's a particular area on the west coast of Tasmania that's crucial to salmon farming, but also the only known habitat, I should say, for the skate stingray. How do you decide what has priority?
Yeah, it is an important debate, and it is a fragile environment in which the salmon industry is operating over there. Macquarie Harbour on the west coast, a very remote part of our state, and the community of Strawn, which is a beautiful village, is based there. There are about 400 salmon jobs dependent on salmon operations in that particular harbour. Now, the industry themselves have acknowledged over time, over the last 30-odd years that they've been operating there, there's room for improvement, and they've been improving every year. Basing their decisions on science. And they've co-invested with academics and the research sector to find ways to protect the Maugean skate, which is this critically endangered stingray type creature that only exists in Macquarie Harbour as far as we know. But sadly, we've got environmentalists who are saying, well, the only way to save the skate is to shut down the salmon industry. They don't acknowledge the fact that there's nearly 200 years of mine waste leaching into Macquarie Harbour, or that it's impacted by hydro dam flows into Macquarie Harbour as well, affecting oxygen levels. So it's a short-sighted approach they've taken. They've asked Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek to review the permits allowing the salmon industry to operate there with a call to shut it down. And I think that is misguided and will have more harm to the community and the environment than any that could come of it.
You point out the multiple factors. I mean, some of those factors, I suppose the problem is they're already locked in. You can't change them. The one that's more mutable is the salmon farming. What if all the expert advice is that either you stop the salmon farming or the skate stingray becomes extinct? What then?
Well, I don't think the expert advice will point to that. I think that the evidence I've seen and the information that's been made available to me is that there are ways to have the salmon industry coexist in an environment where we can protect the environment to an extent that the skate will be able to thrive. Every effort is being put into this, and I think we have to remember balance is key here. It isn't an all or nothing, and you've got to remember as well, the Maugean skate used to exist in Bathurst Harbour in the deep southwest of Tasmania. There was never a salmon pen in that body of water, yet they became extinct there. So to suggest somehow that removing this industry from the harbour is going to save the skate, it won't. We have to work with the industry to not only save the skate, but the 400 jobs on the west coast, the 5,000 jobs across the state. It's a big industry, and it's critically important that this government gets it right.
The Peter Dutton strategy as the leader of the Liberal Party is to win outer suburban seats at the next election. That's pretty clear. Is Dunkley a must-win, this by-election coming up?
Every contest we go into, we desire to win that seat. We desire to convince the voters of that electorate that we have the best recipe for them. We go into this by-election, which of course has come about because of the saddest of circumstances and the passing of Peter Murphy. But the reality is the government of which she was a part haven't delivered on what they promised, and that's what our candidate and our party are going to be reminding voters of. So we go into this with a hope to win. We know that all of these contests are tough, but the people of Dunkley, much in the same way as most outer metropolitan seats will be feeling the same way, they will be experiencing the pinch, the pressures of the increased cost of living, be it electricity or your mortgage repayments, fuel, food, all of those things that we were promised would come down but have in fact gone up. So we've got an offering, we've got a great candidate, and we're going to go hard to make sure people understand what we stand for and why they should vote for us.
Given though two elements here, one, that this is an outer suburban seat, clearly the type of voter you're targeting, and that it has been Liberal not so long ago, so we're not talking Labor Party heartland, you would expect, would you not, a decent swing towards the Liberal Party?
Well, what I would expect is that we will put in the best effort we can. We've got a great candidate, a very effective local representative in the Mayor of Frankston. And as a result of a good campaign, I'm hopeful that we will be able to convince people to vote for our candidate, Mr. Conroy. I think that it would be
Doesn't sound particularly confident.
Well, I don't like to take anything for granted. I'd love to wade into it and say, yes, the people of Dunkley will vote for us. And I think if they look at our policies and what we take forward compared to what was promised and what has been delivered, then certainly I reckon they would vote for us. But we've got to take every day, nothing for granted, and go out there, campaign hard and convince people that we have the right recipe for a better future with lower cost of living and better outcomes for their houses, their businesses and their families.
All right, you've obviously had the memo about not setting the bar too high on expectations. I've come used to this on by-elections. I did my best. Jonathon Duniam, we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.